Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Thursday, December 18th, 2025, 6 p.m. edition of the Auburn Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is Robert Tatro. I'm the chair, and I'm calling this meeting to order. Okay, we have our applicant coming in right now. I just have a quick script to read, and we'll go ahead and get started with our meeting. So good evening, everyone. I call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. on December 18, 2025. I'd like to welcome everyone to today's meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, and thank you for all attending. Please note that the meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. Is there anyone here recording the meeting this evening? Hearing none, seeing none? Okay. And again, if you are recording, you're allowed to. You just have to declare it. Before we proceed, let me remind everyone to ensure the meeting runs smoothly, efficiently, and respectfully. Only one person may speak at a time, and each speaker must be recognized by the chair before proceeding. We will also adhere to established agenda. In the interest of time, we will limit each speaker's comments to 2 minutes. Please be concise and avoid repetitive points already made by others. If a point has been has been previously covered, we kindly ask that you refrain from repeating it to ensure that we allow everyone a chance to continue. And I've actually been requested that we join and do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could join me in that, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So do I have a motion to call the meeting to order?
Mr. Chairman, motion to call the meeting to order.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So our first hearing this evening, 6 o'clock p.m. applicant Douglas Bento Rodriguez requesting a special permit under section 8.2.4.3 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a food establishment at 33 Zabel Ave, Auburn, Mass., map 17, parcel 185. Do I have a motion to open the hearing?
Mr. Chairman, motion to open the hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is the applicant present? Good evening, sir. If you'd like to approach the lectern and give us an overview of what you'd like to accomplish, please. Certainly, you can pass out whatever you like. Do we have abutters that would like to speak on this matter this evening? Okay, so when the time comes, we'll give you an opportunity to speak. Thank you. Thank you. In addition. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Douglas Rodriguez, and I am the owner of the property located at 33 Isabel Avenue in Auburn. The property has a long history of lawful commercial use, having operated for many years as a convenience store authorized by the town. In 2021, the prior owner obtained municipal approvals for full service restaurant use, including permit use issued by the Board of Health. Although the restaurant operation was never opened, this was not due to any enforcement action, zoning violation, or intent to abandon the use. The timing coincided with COVID pandemic and related economic disruption. Importantly, the property has been continually maintaining and remains fully configured for restaurant use. The commercial kitchen is intact, including the walk-in cooler and previously approved exhaust hood system. The application seeks only to the reestablishment of a previously approved commercial restaurant use, with no expansion, no charge of footprint, and no intensification of use beyond what was previously authorized. The request does not alter the character of neighborhood and is consistent with the property's long-standing commercial history. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the board grant this application. I also respectfully request that this statement and the prior permits be entered into the record.
Okay, thank you. And we have some abutters here that would like to speak. Would you like to give your opinion, sir? I need you to approach the microphone if you could, please. Give us your name and address and your comments.
I don't think I'm going to need that. I got a pretty loud voice. My name is Neil Ulitsky. My wife and I, we live at 3 Marie Street in Auburn, which abuts the establishment that he wants to open up as far as a restaurant. I do have some concerns, and probably the biggest concern I have is garbage. I've seen some restaurants that abut residential homes that the garbage just, I don't want to say piles up, but it becomes a nuisance. My property is right behind his building. It's separated by a few tall trees, but mainly a wooden 7-foot-high privacy fence. And even when the restaurant was not open, the previous owner was putting materials like a rowboat, a canoe, and he was leaning it up against my fence. I had no way of getting a hold of the previous owner, and I felt it became a problem. I was worried about my fence. It's not a new fence. The fence has got to be 30, 35 years old. So I was concerned about that. I have no objection of you opening up a restaurant, but I want to know what you're going to do as far as keeping the property clean. Now, you have parking out front, and you have possible parking in the rear. People get careless, mainly young people, and I'm assuming, tell me, what type of food are you going to be putting in there? Hasn't been decided.
Can you answer from the microphone, please? I need to have you stand up there and answer from the microphone, please, sir. And you got to speak to me through the chair, okay?
It wasn't decided yet.
Okay, so you're not really sure what type of food you're going to be doing? So can I just ask, too, to make sure I understand, is this going to be I'm assuming this is going to be primarily takeout, correct?
Yeah.
So are we talking like a pizza parlor type of thing? Are we talking about like, I'm just kind of getting an idea, sandwich shop?
About his concern about the trash,
Yeah.
he was right. The previous owner left a lot of trash over there. That we take care of
You did
everything.
take care of it,
And
yeah.
we are going to do that, so from beyond.
Okay.
Well, it's not just,
He doesn't have too concern about that.
it's, I've seen a lot of talk in the past, okay? And talk can sometimes become cheap. Are you going to be putting out barrels? People are going to park in the back, whether you're going to have parking in the back or not. Are you going to be putting out barrels? And not just one or two, it's going to take a few barrels to keep that property clean.
Okay, so I think we can agree that if the board chose to pursue a special permit in this situation, then we would obviously have to have some type of special conditions, or at least a solid trash removal plan. Is that what you would agree with?
That I'll agree with.
Right, because we can condition, let's just say, I'm hypothetically speaking again, I'll turn it over to the board in a minute, but we can condition a particular size dumpster. We can condition pest control programs that are initiated, things like that, to make sure that you don't have any of those issues. So I'm glad that you came to speak to and
I've got-
make those important issues.
I do have one other question. You're not sure what type of restaurant you're going to open up? Okay. My wife did a little research as far as population. The town of Auburn is 92% white. If, I don't want to make any suggestions, it's your business, your money, but if you're going to succeed, you can't, I don't believe you should make it 100% Spanish, 100% French, whatever. It's got, the way I look at it, but again, it's your money, it's your decision. I don't want to see you open it up and then all of a sudden, 6 months or a year later, you're closing it down. It's mainly going to have to be hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, is going to have to be your main target. So it's just a stubborn person making a request.
All righty.
Besides, I'd be your best customer.
Thank you very much for your service too, sir, and I appreciate your comments. So I'm going to turn it over to the board. Do you have any questions or concerns of the applicant or any of the abutters? Folks, are you abutters that would like to speak that came in?
Yes.
Would you like to speak on the matter? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the board members, please. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you,
Sir, for the applicant, if you could go ahead back to the lectern, please. So the board will have some questions for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Rodriguez, given the concerns that the abutter had raised, I'll start there. What are your plans for trash mediation on the property?
We're gonna do everything that it's on our power to make it right. Actually, since we became the owner, the property, it's how he said, well maintained.
Do you plan on having a dumpster on site?
Sure.
Is there a dumpster on site now?
No, because it's closed.
And so, I mean, I greatly appreciate it wasn't provided until you had passed these out. I appreciate you addressed several of the concerns I won't call them concerns, some of the questions that I was going to raise just based on current footprint, what's in there now. So this is a fully equipped facility as a commercial kitchen today.
Yeah.
Do you need to, so you're not going to change any, and just for the record, I'll reiterate what's been said here, even though it's duplicitous. You're not changing the footprint, you're not changing any design interior. Does the facility have bathrooms?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the capacity in the facility for patrons?
what?
For patrons. How many guests can you serve at a time?
I don't know. It depends because it should be just a takeout place. So
Okay, are you planning on folks eating inside?
not sure yet.
Okay, all right, so your business plan isn't equipped to answer those just yet, but you're not planning any construction, any upgrades?
No, because the kitchen, it's on perfect state. So it's brand new kitchen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. If I can just follow up with Mr. Allard, have we, as the town, been inside for inspections? I mean, in the brief, it spoke to, sounds like there was a build, and then COVID took place, and their plans were on pause, and it never came to fruition. But I'm assuming during that initial build or that fitting out, was the town in there for inspections on what was done?
Oh, absolutely.
Any concerns raised at that time?
No, not at all. The previous owner that we dealt with originally had put, like, it's a spectacular hood in there. The kitchen is very nice, and I don't know what happened to her, but she left for a while, came back for a little bit, and then left, and I don't, she either fell in bad times or went some different direction. And so he's moving into a pretty nice little place. I don't believe it is approved yet for any interior seating at this time, and would have to go through a little bit of a different processing, I believe, to get that. So it really is a nice little takeout place. They're kind of set up just right for that.
Okay, no, thank you for that. And as far as if in fact the board was able to grant a special permit to move forward, through that process, would we be re-inspecting the property before they opened?
Oh, absolutely. Board of Health gets very involved in that, and any modifications were done. I think that the last time when this started, there were a few renovations done inside, a lot of painting, cleaning up and stuff like that. So it's pretty far along, and I would, ready to go kind of as is.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the insight. And Mr. Chairman, I'll just share, I did have an opportunity to view the exterior of the property, and I asked about patrons, but it doesn't seem to be any issue for the board's thoughts on parking. I mean, the lot is substantial. They can get in there and service whomever they want. And granted, there are neighbors close by, but there is, a commercial tag to that area, so.
They may like having them close by.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, I'll reserve.
Mr. Cussy, sir?
Yeah, do you have any idea how many days a week you're going to be open and the hours that you're going to be open?
No, not yet. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Bush?
Thank you.
I think all my questions have been answered for now. No. You're very thorough. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna have to switch up the order once in a while.
Yes, absolutely. I would, yeah, reserve, because she's thoughtful and really smart. I don't want to steal her question. I have one quick follow-up, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
You most certainly may.
To the applicant, recognizing that you don't have a fair to say that you don't have a fully baked plan right now on what you're going to serve. Do you have a time frame projected if this were to be approved? A time frame projected on when you'd like to open?
Unfortunately not. We just want to make it right because we know that the property, it's like out of the commercial zone because it was closed. And I am concerned about the process first, and then we're going to resolve.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Can you stay up there? I have a couple of quick ones. So I see that you are the property owner of record of this piece of property now, correct? You purchased it?
Yeah,
Okay. And are you living nearby, you are living in the adjacent property of it?
yeah, down the street.
Right, I understand. Again, this is just purposeful for the record. And so you're an Auburn resident, you're living in town, and you purchased this property? Right, okay. So your intent is to, I just want to make sure, your intent is to open some type of food service business in the not-too-distant future with your own services available? In other words, you're not going to sell the property because you got the permits for it now and you're not going to move it on to somebody else. You intend to stay and work the property, correct?
I have not decided yet, sorry.
Okay. That's just one of the things I was curious about. Is there any concerns from the town side on this, ma'am?
Thank you. So if the board decides to move forward and issue a special permit for a food establishment, the applicant would need to go through the Board of Health process, which has paperwork, application, inspections required. I'm not sure if this applicant has already started that. We do have a health team that will go out and go through the review process. But to the gentleman's concern earlier, if we issue a food permit, they will be required to have a licensed trash hauler and have to maintain the property. So there are certain things that pest control, licensed trash removal, and inspections of the actual facility. The applicant will not be able to operate the food establishment until the Board of Health has gone through the permit approval process. And we work very closely with the building department as well. So
Thank you.
that, I just wanted you to be aware of that.
So that's right. So the health department has that rigor inside that permitting, well, I'd say permitted, inside that inspection,
Yes.
or that all of those conditions are met.
Right, so, I know you mentioned you can certainly obviously condition anything that you want, but that is part of the Board of Health permitting process. We would require that regardless of whether or not you conditioned it.
And can I just ask too, can you speak on grease traps briefly? So I believe that they should have a contract with a company to come in at least that does maintenance on the grease trap on a regular basis, because my concern is that we're in a Zone 3 aquifer and that is across the street from a pond. I would just like to make sure that we're going to have something like that in place as well.
So the, dependent upon what the applicant chooses to serve, will make that requirement on what type of grease trap is required.
Right, okay.
So there's, it is a small establishment, and I would have to check with my health team to see when the last time they were there, but the applicant is correct. It was closed for a period of time, and, we're happy to work with the applicant if he's looking to open a proposed food establishment.
Sure. And my last question would be, I know it's not related particularly to this application and this applicant, but the history of that building, is there a history of issues with Board of Health complaints, food issues? I know because in the past, it's been a convenience store, a package store kind of combination, where I know they sold some food out of it. I mean, otherwise, is there any other past issues with that location?
Honestly, that establishment, I remember years ago when it was a small convenience store. I
Yeah.
think they even sold bait, for fishermen
I
across
mean,
the
it's been
street.
something since I was a kid. I can
Yeah,
remember it always
and I think they
having
even
something in
had,
there.
they had a small little ice cream service window there. So I do remember actually myself inspecting it, but it hasn't operated in many years. So we have worked with another proposed owner to open, and I don't believe that they ever actually opened. So I think that's what the applicant may be referring to. So, we're always happy to see business. We want to help, small business. And again, the applicant process for opening up that building as a food establishment, they have to go through Board of Health, building, and obviously any other requirements that you have.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Anything else, comments or concerns from your side?
No, the only, so, just so you know, that if you were to, the property changes hands, the special permit will go away.
Right.
So if you are granted a special permit, if you sell the property or anything, the special permit doesn't go with it, just so you know.
Thank you for bringing that up, because
Yeah.
given the nature of, I think it's an important point to point out to the applicant, because given the nature of some of the responses that we've gotten, it appears that his business plan, I want to use the word nebulous, but maybe that's a little harsh, but it's not fully known whether or not he's got a time frame, whether or not he's got a food plan, what he's going to serve, those kinds of things. So as he makes those decisions, if part of that decision is to sublet it to
Right.
another operator, that he owns the property and plans to sublet it to another operator, then this special permit is not transferable to someone else to operate this business. It would be for you to operate this business alone. You can certainly go up, sir, if you have a comment.
My question is, if you rent it, the person should be responsible to do the process again?
So I would believe that, if I can just comment on that, that if he's the owner of the property, he should be pursuing the permit. He could probably, as long as somebody is food service certified and they're established in a food service capability, then he could rent that out, he could let somebody rent it from him.
I agree,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. But I think our intent would be for him to operate it, but understood. I mean, the special permit would be granted to him for the establishment of it. If he were to sublet it, then with a new operator that isn't him with the same intent, again, is that special permit transferable to a different operator?
Yeah, I believe that it's a fair, it's fair that we eventually sell it. The new owner should do all permits again, because it's not on my name. It's Board of Health, Building Department.
separate issue. I mean, respectfully.
It's a common sense, right?
Right, but separate issue. So what we're talking about, what you're talking about is a full sale of the property, and then someone else would have to go through this process because the permit's not transferable to a different owner. That's
Yeah,
true.
I know that.
We're talking about, so say you hire an operator that conducts this business on your behalf, and you're just the landlord of this property. That's what I'm trying to flush out.
And that's certainly possible. I mean, he could own the business and hire a chef. I mean, it would be kind of...
A chef and a
you know,
manager to operate the
Yeah,
same business.
I mean, and that would be the same thing.
It would.
Again, I think it would be more, that's when the responsibility would shift to the Board of Health Department to make sure that they're all pursuits,
They're still maintaining.
food service and permits and health and safety requirements are being met.
He would be the permit grantor, but he could certainly hire on for someone to operate.
Sure. I
Okay,
mean, he might need a cash register person at some point. He might need somebody just to, maintain the other things that get sold in there. There's certainly a possibility you get 2 or 3 employees at one point.
Yeah, that's reasonable, Mr. Chairman, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. But to the point of ownership, if he were to transfer ownership,
Then it's, right,
then it would not transfer the ability to operate.
correct, yeah, that would,
Like,
and that would be
like
a
all
good,
permits, right?
I'm sorry?
Like all the permits.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, thank
For
you.
special permits, that's correct. For variances, that is not correct. Okay, so we have some abutters that came in, and you've heard the kind of discussion here. Do you have any other comments or concerns that you'd like to add? Go right ahead, please, ma'am, if you could approach the lectern, give us your name and address. Please be careful.
Deb Ulitsky, 3 Marie Street. My property abuts where this building is. We bought our property 6 years ago, and there was never anybody in there. Now, you say this equipment that's in the building, how long can it sit there and still, I know the Board of Health has to go in and check things out, but how long can a piece of equipment sit there with saying that it's good enough to use?
Again, that would be beyond the purview of this board, ma'am. We're just here to determine whether or not the special permits should be granted. Again, I think that would all fall into the Board of Health category afterwards. And, you have Mr. Allard sitting here who would go in there and make sure. But generally speaking, restaurant equipment itself is fairly durable, and it's usually pretty long-lasting. So as long as it's fairly current and it's clean, it shouldn't really have any degradation to it. It shouldn't really deteriorate.
Because I don't know how long before we moved in there 6 years ago that the building's been empty.
Right, and I understand those concerns, but again, that would be part of the permitting process that you could talk to with the Board of Health afterwards.
Board of Health.
Yeah. And I'm certain, believe me when I tell you, I have absolutely every bit of confidence in the Board of Health. They're particularly stickly when it comes to public health concerns, restaurant inspections. I'm very well aware of the history of the Board of Health here, and they very much stand by their inspections.
Okay.
So I would not worry about the cleanliness of the issue.
Okay, so when he does decide to open up the business, being in a butter, will we be notified of what he's going to do?
Well, no, the only time you'd be notified is when you have a public hearing like this. You wouldn't necessarily be notified. If you were to contact the Board of Health and ask to be notified, I'm almost positive they would be happy to do that for you. If you'd like
Well,
to,
it's just that
be informed of the timeline.
We'd like to know when something's going in there, because I don't know if he was the previous owner, but a year ago, year and a half ago, somebody purchased it, painted it orange and black, and then nothing was ever done. Because we thought that a restaurant was going in there, and it never did. So, so we just like to be informed when something's going in there.
Well, I think as an abutter, he can certainly come over and knock on your door and say, "Hi, neighbor, I'm here to let you know," too, right? I mean, would you be opposed to him coming over and paying you a visit?
No problem at all.
But I mean, he can come over and knock on your door and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know there's going to be a hamburger stand opening up, or I'm going to do hot dogs like Coney Island and probably make $1 million," right? So, I mean, he can certainly come over and knock on your door. They're more than welcome. You don't have to necessarily communicate through us, but you are certainly welcome to communicate through the Board of Health. So if you have any concerns, they can record them for you.
Okay.
You're definitely welcome to do both. And if you have a concern, you're more than welcome to come back here at a future meeting and express it, and, we can address it, have the town discuss it with you. So,
Okay.
We love to see the small businesses. We love to see those, these buildings that haven't been used for a while get some support and reopen, especially in the post-COVID world. But at the same time, we want it to be safe, and we don't want it to interfere with your lifestyle either.
Right.
Right, so-
Right.
I know some new equipment has been put in there.
If you're going to talk, sir, you have to have you go to the microphone.
While he's going up, Mr. Chairman, if I may, just to follow up on your comments, I would assume that, especially given that this is a potential eatery, you're probably going to see, coming soon or some level of advertising outside. If it were my small business, I would certainly want to let the public know, so that I could have some patrons get ready to come and patronize the establishment. And as far as the equipment, I think it's a thoughtful comment, if it's been sitting for a while. It really depends on, as the chairman had noted, it depends on the equipment, but the Board of Health is extremely thorough, as is Mr. Allard. So when that inspection process goes through, as the chairman had said, we have every confidence that they'll go in and walk through what needs to be done before they're open.
I don't mean to fight with my wife, but there has been some new equipment that was put in there 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if you were around at that time. An outside hood for, I guess, the Friolator, and some new equipment on the inside. I think the person that owned it at that time was going to open up a new establishment, food establishment,
I've been to the property, man.
and something happened. I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden the for sale sign was back up. So I don't know if it was the previous owner, but somebody who did own it did put in some new equipment and spent some money, because I remember seeing the trucks coming in with the equipment.
And again, if those were installed and they pulled permits, those were already been previously inspected by the health department or by our inspectional services. I'm assuming, Mr. Allard, would you agree that the equipment in there has been recently inspected at one time?
Brand new.
It's all brand new?
Brand new. The gal put a ton of money into that, had it all certified. She came back a year or so later, had to go through the whole process again. You got to recertify it, re-clean it, reestablish it. When he starts, everything's going to be brand new. Board of Health, super thorough on everything through there.
Sure. So we'll make sure it's definitely going to be clean and adequate before it opens, if the board decides to let that happen. Yes, sir. If you could give us your name and address, please?
Yeah, Joe Richards, 47 Rochdale Street. We've been there since '89. And we were there for the heyday of K&R Convenience when Kevin and Rosemary ran it. It was a really great place. A lot of families enjoyed the ice cream and whatnot. But I just wanted to reiterate for my own information. If this gentleman goes through and gets all the special permits, will there be another notification if he decides to sell and someone else a new owner decides to open something within that building?
Yes, because they would have to reestablish the application package for the town. They're going to have to repay their fees, and they'll have to come before this board again, so you would be notified as an abutter again, yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you very
absolutely.
much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right, hearing none, seeing none. Do I have a motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
Mr. Chairman, motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any discussion?
I think I'm good, it's just, there's a lot of unknown. That's all. Right. He doesn't really know what he wants to do at the time, so I guess we can do what we can do, and that's it, on what we have for information.
And everything's going to have to go through the Board of Health anyways, so.
I would agree. I mean, again, we're just here establishing whether or not he can move forward, and the next steps would be for the proper inspection processes, plumbing, electrical, all those things, making sure that the concerns that we've already discussed here, those plans are in place and signed off on. I mean, believe me, as somebody who has owned a food establishment, I've owned a food establishment in the past. I had a takeout place over near Hadron Park Market, excuse me. And it's an incredibly difficult, all those plans are in place, There's very little profit margin. It's a lot of work. They're gonna spend a lot of hours there. And it's a labor of love for sure. So hats off to anybody that wants to try it. That's what I say. And again, I like the idea of a town having these small little shacks on the side of the road to go grab something with your kids and sit at a picnic table, because we don't have them anymore. They're all gone. You know, we just lost Ronnie's.
Right.
Right? I mean, anytime we can have that where the kids, I remember, like I think this gentleman mentioned, you'd have ice cream and then the kids would go across the street and maybe with their parents and fish for a little bit or whatever. Those places are going away, you know, and to me, I think those are kind of important. So, that's just my personal opinion. Do I have a motion?
I agree, Mr. Chairman. And I was staying silent on purpose because I wanted the other board members to have a chance to talk with some summary comments, but I agree. Yeah, I think that for me, just for discussion, I'd like to know more about what he plans to do with it. I know we know framework of restaurant and whatnot, but that's, I want to rein myself back into the purview of what we're here to do. It's, he's, the Board of Health, Mr. Allard, it'll be well inspected. It'll be well taken care of through the process. And so for what he's asking for to do, I don't think it's a reach for us.
And honestly, should I tell you something? The restaurant business, they have a saying in it, it doesn't lie. Because if the food is good, the place will stay. If the food is not good, people won't come back and it won't stay.
No,
They sort themselves out.
Yeah, you're right, Mr.
Right?
Chairman. And for what it's worth, your ending comments of nostalgia, I love the idea of a walkable neighborhood establishment like
Yep.
this.
Send the kid down
Because
to the store, get them to have hot dogs for
It
dinner.
adds a lot of character, a lot of opportunity for neighbors to get together and do something
Yep.
like that close.
Maybe a place where kids can work.
And we don't have, exactly, and we don't have a lot of them. And so I like the nature of it as itself. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion to approve, and frankly, with standard conditions, because I don't see anything beyond what the Health Department or Mr. Allard, our building commissioner, wouldn't do through the process that we would need to further restrict.
Nice. So I have a motion on the 6 o'clock PM applicant Douglas Bento Rodriguez requesting a special permit under section 8243 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a food establishment at 33 Zabel Ave, Auburn, Mass., map 17, parcel 185, with standard conditions. Do I have a second?
Second.
So we'll do a quick roll call vote. Vice Chair Maron?
I approve.
Mr. Cussy?
Approve.
Ms. Bush?
I approve.
And I vote to approve. So good luck. Hope it goes well. When you're ready for your next stages, you can go ahead and reach out to the Department of Inspectional Services and the Health Department, and then they'll take it from there. Okay, so good luck.
Good luck, too. And Mr. Chairman, if I may, on a final note, there was a great deal of participation from the neighbors, from the abutters to come. This process works best when you show up.
It does.
And share your concerns and have open dialogue and get to know the owners of these businesses, and have that open discussion, that honest, open discussion about what you're concerned about, and giving them an opportunity to share with you what their plans are, and address your concerns in a neighborly, collegiate way. So thank you for coming out tonight.
Yes. And I will promise you again, I think as we said, the Board of Health here does a fantastic job. And if you have any issues, you're more than welcome to reach out, and they will address it. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that they will respond to everything your concerns. So,
Absolutely. I agree. I just hope that it isn't a problem. Because then that affects
well, I'm going to eat there, so I'll make sure it isn't. How's that? All right.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you very much.
So if it's not, I'm gonna charge up that tank.
There you go. All right, do I have a motion to close the hearing?
Mr. Chairman, motion to close the hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Excellent, all righty. So we have the minutes from November 20th, 2025. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as submitted and written for November 20th, 2025 meeting?
Mr. Chairman, motion to accept the minutes for November 2025 as written, and well-written. Thank you, Mr. Fallon.
Yes, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. We have no unforeseen business by the chair, thankfully. Our next meeting is the January 15th of, it says 2025, but it's actually going to be 2026, which I have a hard time believing that's actually possible, but here we go. So Before we adjourn, I just wanted to say Happy Hanukkah to everyone who celebrates, and I also want to say Merry Christmas to everyone that celebrates. And please be safe over the holidays. And thank you very much. And one last point I think that we can talk about today is that we have, Dr. Menard is going to be leaving our place of employment here, I guess, if you will. It's more of a family, but he is going to be moving on to the town of Oxford, and he was hired as the assistant town manager. So really congratulations to him for moving up in his career, but unfortunately, it's sad to say that we are losing a great employee. And I can personally tell you, I've worked with him for the last 7 years, between 40B, between working on accessory dwelling units, between going over with a fine-tooth comb all of our zoning bylaws with the Zoning Bylaw Review Committee. And honestly, the amount of time, there's a particular handful of people in this town hall that don't go home. And I've corrected them many times, saying that they spend too many hours here, and I'm not afraid to say that. You know, Darlene is one, you're one, Tom is one, and Dr. Menard is also one of those. So we're losing a very dedicated employee, but I wish him the best of luck in the future, so good for him. Okay, and that's it. That's my soapbox for
Well,
tonight.
I won't repeat anything that you've said, other than that I do agree. I mean, I saw the emails come out, I'm happy for him personally. I think Dr. Menard is a great asset, and a knowledge of information, and so I always considered ourselves fortunate to have that kind of talent in town. And so just another reason during the football rivalries to dislike Oxford. But other than that, I certainly wish him the very best.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else?
I wish them all the luck.
Yeah, awesome.
Happy for him, sad for us.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oxford's lucky to get them.
Yeah.
Yes, they very much are. Well, I think one of the problems we have is poaching, if you haven't noticed. We've
Yeah.
lost people to Millbury, we lost people to Northborough, we've lost people to Oxford. And what happens here is, we have a unique amount of experience they gain, because we have the business community and the homeowner communities that really overlap a lot. So I think they gain a lot of knowledge here, and they take that to towns and benefit them, so we need to work on that.
Their football uniforms are still orange.
Yeah,
so,
I know, you're right.
You know, I mean, there's
All right, thank you very much. So I have a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
All right, do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.
Thank you.